Alright guys, what's going on? It's your boy D-Dog here. I've been seeing on my Twitter, about people building computers for like $2,000 whatnot. So I figured since I have somewhat of a computer experience, whatever, I'm going to show you guys how you can easily build you a nice budget, cost-efficient computer where you don't really need to spend a lot of money and break the bank. The thing is with these computers is when people think about building a computer, they think about like, oh man, I gotta build the ultimate rig. I gotta build I need this $3,000, $5,000 rig. When you probably are not gonna be using it a lot. And let's just be honest, you're probably not gonna be using it that much as you think you are. So why would you put that much money into a computer that you know that you are not going to really use? I'm gonna show you my computer that I built. I recently built a computer. The goal was to build a computer where I can stream efficiently and do video editing efficiently without having any problems with any type of delay, lag, or anything or whatnot. So I'm gonna show you guys what I built just to give you guys a blueprint of where you can start off. Let's start by first, you need to find the proper case for your computer. Now, they have ATX, they have micro ATX, they have AT cases. So you need to base your case, around your build. So the first thing you need to really look at, besides the case, is you need to look at which motherboard you're gonna get. Now, like I said, there are different types of motherboards. You have an AT, you have a micro AT, and you have ATX motherboard. They all do different shit. Look it up. I'm not gonna explain it to you of what. I'll put it in the description below of what the difference is with the motherboards. I'll explain to you. Now the motherboard that I went with for my build is the ASRock B450M Pro 4. I will post a link in the description below on this motherboard and give you guys pretty much the specs on here. So this is an AMD motherboard. I actually went with AMD with this build, and I must say that I actually like it. It's pretty good. I never had an AMD processor before, so this was actually it was actually kind of new. It was actually different for me because all my computers have been nothing but Intel. Never had an AMD like AMD. I always hear, oh, you can overclock. I'm not getting into that, you know what I'm saying? Not yet, because I feel like I don't really need to overclock my motherboard, not my processor, I don't feel like I need to overclock and all that shit. So I went with the AMD processor because I wanted to try something different, because I was getting advice from people who have AMD motherboards, and they were telling me that yes, graphics wise is better, but the only thing that I'm kind of disappointed in, and this is Adobe's fault, they don't have the video sync function for AMD processors. So if you have an Intel processor and you're using Adobe Premiere, they have this feature where you can use hardware acceleration, where you can use your video graphics card instead of going directly using your CPU. It'll just use your GPU to get that shit going make your encoding, your processing go a little quicker. I ended up going with AMD because I was like, man, I don't want to keep having Intel. I want to at least have the best of both worlds to see which one is actually better. And right now I really don't know which one is better. If you ever in a motherboard, just look at what you need regarding ATX or micro ATX. The next thing you want to look at is you want to look for the processor. Now, just because you buy a processor does not mean that it will fit in any motherboard. These motherboards, they will tell you in the specifications that this is what type of socket that you need for your processor. So like for instance, my motherboard is an AM4 socket. So I'll have to buy a AM4 processor, an AM4 socket processor. With Intel, you have the LGAs and It was like, I remember like the LGA models, like, oh, this specified for LGA this, and it'll have a number after it, you know, because Intel makes a lot of processors. Everything has to go with each other, okay? So motherboard, processor. You have to build everything around the processor, around your motherboard. When you buy your motherboard, that, I feel like that is the most important key to when you are building your computer, because you can't just go and buy this $50 like $25 motherboard and think you're gonna buy this $1,000 processor and then $1,500 RAM and think it's gonna fit. Always look for the specifications of exactly what you need, and it's okay to do your research. Like, do your research. And again, you want to make sure that your motherboard supports the processor that you want to buy. If your motherboard says it only supports an AM4 socket processor, you need to buy an AM4 socket processor. Stay within that range of the AM4 processors. Next, your motherboard may say it may take only DD4, DDR2, DD3, all the RAM. It may take all of them, and they have different numbers. I'm not gonna get into that because we'll sit here all day talking about RAM. So you always want to make sure that you have the best RAM possible for your motherboard. Your motherboard may only say that, hey, I only take DDR4. You can be like, all right, well then I gotta buy DDR4. Always check with your motherboard to see what is the maximum RAM that your motherboard can take. Nowadays, the motherboards now, they come with at least like 16 at minimum. I think they be gone with the 8 gigabytes of minimum. Your motherboard will either support 8, 16, 32, and 64. The max I've seen is 64. I have yet to see anything like for like 128. I have yet to see that. So if I have, then I probably like just haven't even paid attention to it because I'm not trying to spend that money. So you want to make sure you got those things. Now the best thing about the processor that I bought the Ryzen 5, the AMD 5 Ryzen 2600, and it came with the fan as well. And I must say that this fan on this processor is very quiet. I must say, like, I was worried that, you know, that the fans, you know, mostly the fans that you get with the processors are like cheap as hell. They don't really work. You end up having to replace it months later because it burnt out. You know what I'm saying? It gets to the point where it just becomes frustrating. You always put money back into the computer. You think, you know, that everything is good, but it's not. So I must say that the fan that actually came with the AMD processor, it's fairly quiet. It hasn't gave me any issues, no overheating. I didn't have to worry about none of my stuff. Like, I didn't have to worry about replacing it right now, and that's pretty good. I'm glad that AMD has took notice and actually like fixed the fan or whatever. Because normally with the AMD, with the Intel processors that like the computers that I built, and it came with the fan, like months later you're already replacing the fan because it's a cheap ass fan. Like, you get what you pay for. So if you ever buy Intel processor, just automatically just put in your budget that you are going to spend money on another fan. Now a lot of people may say, man, just do liquid cooling, and I'm just like, that's a different topic. I don't think I'll ever do that, but to each his own. So the next thing that you want to focus on is when you're building a computer is you want to make sure you get a video card. Video card that I have is the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. I felt like that I did not need to buy the latest and greatest as of right now. The 1050 Ti still keeps up with all the current games that are out right now. I can still buy, if I want to play on PC, I can buy a game and that shit will still look just as crispy on my system. Like, I'll show you how I'll show you Street Fighter 4 on PC, because I have it on PC, and it looked amazing, and I was just like, dang, shit look crispy as hell. And I was just amazed of how excellent that it looked. You know, it actually looked better than the PS4 or the 360 version. You want to at least, like, I would say if you're going to get a graphics card, in my opinion, you can start, like, I have the 1050 Ti. I say that is the minimum that I would go. I wouldn't go any lower than that, because now they're about to bring out the new graphics cards. So you don't want to be too low in the game when you are actually like purchasing a video card. You at least want to be in the like high, mid, low. I would say the 1050 Ti right now is considered low between the 1050, 1060, 1070, and 1080. 1080 costs like $500. I will purchase one when the price goes down. And also make sure if you're buying from the store, make sure you pay for the warranty, because the warranty, I think for like the graphics cards, like what I did is you pay for the 2-year warranty. At any time that I want to trade that motherfucker in, I can literally go and take this video card out of my computer right now and go to my store where I bought it from, and they'll give me the price that I paid for it towards another video card. You get those perks. Like some of these things you want to pay the warranty for. Like I would recommend that you pay for it, because you know anything can happen at any time. Moving along, you got your graphics card, you got your RAM, you got your processor, you got your motherboard. Now you need hard drives. So what I would recommend for a hard drive, for your main hard drive, and I would say you can either go with a solid state hard drive, or you can just go with the SATA, you know what I'm saying? SATA, you know, as they would say. What I would say is you don't want to put everything on one hard drive. You want to have at least 2 hard drives. You can at least slave it, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't even think they even do slave anymore. You can just plug it up and it just appear. You can have 2 hard drives where all your programs and operating system will be on one, and then you can have everything else is where you will save your stuff. So that way it won't clog up the operating system when you are on your computer. You won't have to worry about any slowdowns, because you got all this stuff on your desktop, everything in your documents. You got your videos and your video files. You can have everything in another folder on another hard drive, just chilling. And that's where you should save your stuff. You should, like, I would recommend that you have 2 different hard drives. You can do a solid state for your operating system and programs when you install it, and then for all your other stuff, you can just do a regular SATA hard drive. The minimum I would say to start off with, start off with 1 terabyte for your operating system, because you never know, you might install a lot of stuff. It's gonna happen. You're gonna want to install programs. You might get into graphic design, so you might need that beefed up space, the requirement space of the hard drive space. And then, you know, like me, I do a lot of video editing, so it's like my videos, the file sizes are getting bigger, so you want to put them on a different hard drive. Also, it's best to have external hard drives as well. I have a whole bunch of them. I got one that's 3 terabyte that I actually filled up, but that was because I was moving stuff from my laptop over to this machine. We're gonna talk about power supply. You need to have the right power supply. You want to have the right as much power as possible to keep your machine going. And when I say that is, do not go out here and buy the cheapest power supply because you're trying to skimp out on the power supply. I think that is one of the most important components that you need when creating a computer. I would say the minimum you go with is a 500 watt, because I mean, if you're not going to be really doing it, if you go anything higher, that's for like you doing like some serious shit, and you want to have like your video card is going to need power, processor is going to require some power, your RAM, you know what I'm saying, like all that stuff is going to require power, you know what I'm saying. And if you don't have as much power going into your motherboard, your motherboard is going to experience some shortages. You can short your motherboard or you can fry it because you have too much like going on, you know what I'm saying. Everything needs power, you know, like your freaking CD drive, your hard drive, you know, your SATA hard drive, it needs power. So if you got four hard drives, just know that they're gonna need power, and they need the right amount of wattage to go to flow pretty good, you know what I'm saying? So I say the minimum, just to start off with a 500 watt power supply, and then you can just keep it going. I think I covered everything except for the case and the operating system. The case, like I said, it goes with the motherboard. You want to have if you buy a micro ATX case, then I would recommend that you either do a micro ATX case, or you can do an ATX case that see if it also supports micro ATX motherboards as well. I didn't care about the case. Doesn't really matter to me because it's going to be stationary. I spent like $33 on my case. All the links in the description for all the stuff that I bought for my computer will be below. It helps the channel if you buy something. But yeah, mine have like 4 fans, and I paid $33 for it. It does what it needs to do. I recommend that y'all at least just look into, don't go out here thinking that you need to spend like all this money on these machines when you are just going to be streaming probably 1 or 2 days a week.
And at best, you probably not going to be doing that much.
Hopefully this video has help anybody out there who's looking to build a computer. If I had anything incorrect, please let me know in the comments, and because I like to learn. I'm always willing to learn every day, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the expert on these computers. I mean, I know how to fix them very good, but you know what I'm saying, there's some things that I might forget. But I don't know, if I got some knowledge that I can kick to you guys, then I'm gonna kick it to you the best way I can. I know I was probably very lengthy in this video, but at the end, thanks for watching this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, smash that like button. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a nice day. Peace.